Today we are going to be looking at the brand new CYL 4 units, stats, etc. Seeing how exactly they stack up to what we thought, and which unit is the best to likely invest in. So first we have Dimitri, who has 41, 16 might weapon, 40 attack, 36 speed, which is a lot more than I personally thought, 40 defense, and 19 res. So Moon Gradivis does give him DC. Moon Gradivis is a 16 might weapon with the defensive breath effect. So essentially, you have special cooldown charge +1 when getting hit, but not when retaliating. So it's kind of like Rinka's weapon. Except it's DC instead of slime. But Moon Gradivis are all around pretty alright. Only bad thing is his lack of res. Having DC isn't that useful outside of things like bows and daggers. Does not look like he's taking any color mage shot too well. Next, attack defense unity, really strong. For any of you who anyone who doesn't know how that works, it's attack defense +5 to you if you are within 2 spaces of an ally, and essentially it has the Chaos Ragnal effect for attack and defense only. So it says if you have -7 to attack, then it grants attack +19, giving you thus an attack 12 total. Essentially, taking away the +5, it's giving you if you're -7 to something, you now have +7. But instead of like harsh commanding it type thing, it just gives you +14. And it's +14 plus the 5 it already like guaranteed gives you. It gives you 19. So Unity, really strong. Given the border, it is a 400 SP skill, and with him already having DC, should not be a problem. Next is Blue Lion Rule, which is essentially a defense-based close call. Now the thing about close call is the faster you were, the better it was, for the most part at least. But from what this says, the Blue Lion Rule, you get maximum of 40%, but all you have to do is just be above unit's defense. It doesn't say above by maximum, it says maximum 40% above, but it just says if your defense is above the foe's defense. I might be reading that wrong. Oh, and it says make a guaranteed follow-up attack, so it's essentially like QR without an HP threshold, which is already insane. As well as this weird close call shenanigans with damage reduction. And joint heart attack, pretty clear. It's been out for almost 2 years now. Or almost 1 year now. Sorry. But yeah, joint heart attack, very strong. Especially with these stat spreads, really good defense, pretty solid speed. A little shocking to, I'm sure, most people. Probably why he doesn't have the any kind of foe cannot follow the attack type of thing that we see on people like Edelgard. But yeah, 40 attack, pretty sure. Let me check his BST. I actually didn't check that. I didn't check anyone's BST for that fact. But his and Edelgard's are likely the only ones that matter. 41, 40, 36, 40, 19. No, he's 177 BSTs and he's 180? That's crazy. Whoa. So this is definitely going to be an extremely strong unit. Let me see him. So, next we'll get into Edelgard. So, Edelgard, let's look at her, I think she's last in this video. Yeah. So Edelgard she's not extra stats, 16 might weapon. Okay. So she has 16 might, it says 45 attack, am I reading it right? 46, 45, 16, 43, 35. I guess. 46 plus 45 plus 16 plus 43 plus 35. That's 185, and that's not 185 like after effect, that's sheer 185, so she can get to 189 with the super boon, which is wild. But looking at Brave Edelgard, pretty overall really high attack stat, by the way. And one thing about her is that she does really well is if you read her weapon, it's essentially like Apotheosis Anna with the warp powder type effect. You can go to anywhere within 2 spaces, or any unit within 2 spaces. But it also reads if you are above 25%, you just have 2 movement. There's no armor stride, you don't have to be alone, you don't have to be next to somebody. You just have to be above a given HP threshold, which is very, very nice. Another thing, attack defense -6, same HP threshold. As far as I know, that's all Flower Hauteclair does. Oh, and it's Slang. Slang hopefully will give you like, with Black Eagle rule, it more than likely gives you Gale Force option. I'm sure people are running that anyway, but Noontime is also a very strong thing with the 25% rule. Dissonant Ward, not great. Kind of surprised they actually put it in here. I guess it works well, but Dissonant Ward by no means needs to be there. Probably gonna see a lot of Dissonant Counter Edelgards instead. I don't see that being all too permanent. Black Eagle rule. If unit's HP is above 25%, so it's the same HP threshold that we've been seeing all along with this unit, there's a guaranteed follow-up attack, and if unit initiates, if foe initiates combat, receives by attack. Sorry, foe's follow-up attack is also reduced to 80%. So it's very similar to Ike's Urban, and it's very similar to Brave Ike's Urban, and it's similar to the deflect skills. So so deflect melee, deflect magic, and deflect missile. But it's not specific to any of those. It's just 80% for everything. Okay. So joint drive res, very, very self-explanatory. We've seen everything like that. Joint drive attack, joint drive speed, pretty self-explanatory. But with joint drive res and distant ward, it looks like they're really trying to patch up her res. So looking at these, with the joint drive res and distant ward activated, she has 66 attack with her weapon, and she ends up having, is joint drive res 4? Yes. So it is 4, 39, it ends up being 44. 44 res, 43 defense. Crazy good stats. Once again, still has that armor weakness, which is why units like Winter Sithis might not be that good in other modes. She's probably going to be a beast in Arena, but that's just how I see it. Moving on to our next unit is Claude. So unfortunately, this video with Claude and Mystica got privated, I think. Either way, the pictures are on Twitter. Win Parthia. I think he's first or second. Yeah. Win Parthia is Slaying, effectiveness flying, and it's if unit is within 2 spaces, it grants Omni +5 during combat, and if damage special activates, then he heals 50% of his HP, not HP dealt, his HP. Which is why we see Moonbow there, slaying Moonbow, and in the video, he gets half of his HP healed when the Moonbow procs off. Pretty good overall. We have Fury 4, which we've seen, Chill Speed Defense, which we've also seen, I forgot who that's on, probably some seasonal. And we have Attack Speed Rhine, and I've seen a lot of different things about Attack Speed Rhine. From what I can tell, it's likely going to be a flyer exclusive skill, which I would be fine with. Hopefully it's a flag exclusive skill, but he seems like he'll have pretty decent skill set overall. Given his stats, he has, sorry, how much rank does he have? 14 rank. Okay, so he also has 40 attack. Oh, sorry, this is Fury as well. This is 42 HP, 14 might, 36 attack, 40 speed, 23 defense, and 25 res. Let me do that real quick. Speed, 36 attack, 40 speed, 23 defense, and 25 res. 166, he gets 170 if you merge him with Super Rune, which I'm assuming will likely be in either attack or speed, knowing IS. It's just how they roll. But he seems like he'll be a very, very strong unit. Probably won't score that well. He hits 170, I guess, but he's not getting anywhere near what you want him to be, especially with modern day power creep. Not too much to worry about. Lastly, we have Lysithea. Lysithea, who I believe has an attack +3 weapon.
I can learn.
Sorry about that. I think Court's on my shirt up. Don't worry about it. Her stats. But she gets speed +3 and a poison weapon. So she has 40 plus 40 plus 39 plus 21 plus 25. She has a 165 BST. It seems like she's not going to get pushed above the 170 bin, but people aren't pulling a plus in Lysithea for her to score in arena. So push comes to shove, she's fine. First of all, her weapon. So Dark Spike's T is effective against calves, which is not fantastic by any means, but it grants speed +3, and at the start of turn, if the unit is above 75 HP, I kind of hope that's a typo. Grants attack speed +6 during combat, and if unit is below 100%, HP, and unit initiates combat, makes a guaranteed follow-up attack before open counterattack. And basically, the purpose, actually we'll get into the guaranteed follow-up attack at the end, but attack speed push, very, very strong, chips out your HP. Granted, I don't know if these 2 HP thresholds in the weapon are true. I would hope both of them are below whatever number, because an attack speed push wouldn't bode too well. Full speed res, seen it before on base Lysithea, and Hone speed 4. Hone speed 4 I really don't understand. I thought it was joint speed 4. I was kind of hoping it was joint speed 4 when we saw that like little thing in the trailer. But Hone speed 4 I guess we'll have to do. People are likely going to replace that anyway, but we'll see. So overall, her stat spread, it's exactly what everyone expected. She's very, very min-maxed for attack and speed, and then she has very, very poor defense and rest stats. No one's too surprised. Going into what I think you should actually pick. So, I, until yesterday, was set on picking Quad, because I think he is a very, very strong archer, and then very strong archer, very good for PvE. Get him with a dancer, and he's perfectly fine. He can run a damage special, and you don't have to worry about sustain. He's everything you want. He's a bow cap, or he's a bow flyer, I guess. But I already have Hanoko, the bow Hanoko. So I did a bit of a comparison. Obviously I didn't have stats, but I just like figured out what I had. My bow Hinoka is like +4, so having another one didn't really make a ton of sense to me. I still might. I don't have my pick set in stone yet. I'm not refreshing into a reset, which is in like an hour for me, by the way. But I'm not waiting to pick my frame 1. I'll pick it whenever I feel like I'm certain about it, but this is one of the few CYLs where I'll actually wait a bit until I pick, I think, at least. We're going over everything. Quad's pretty decent. I think Wind Parthia, the only thing I don't love about it, I do like the fact that it gives you all those stats if you're within those spaces. And I do like the fact that it is slaying. But the one bad part about it is that it heals you. And I don't think healing is necessarily a bad thing, but as someone who runs like Brave Bow Archers with Wings of Mercy everything, if you heal yourself out of Wings of Mercy range, then the only way to chip yourself back into it is with Fury. Not that Fury is bad or anything. Claude has no real repercussion from it, I don't think. Like, you can just hit again, or get hit again. Take the 4 chip damage, but heal all of it back. Or take the 8 chip damage, whatever. But he really does whatever he wants. I just don't like the fact that he can heal himself out of Wings of Mercy range. Lysithea, very strong unit. I think the guaranteed follow-up attack, which I was talking about recently, which I was going to talk about here. So essentially, the guaranteed follow-up attack is to essentially counteract the and foe cannot counterattack, like these skills. So you have Weary Fighter and Red Tonebreaker, I guess. Probably some other major ones that I'm missing, but mostly that one. It's almost like an follow-up thing, but the reason she has a guaranteed follow-up attack and this much speed is just so, like, if those two balance out, then she gets it regardless. So Lysithea, really good one-off in my opinion. Like, if you get one, awesome, but I don't feel like she's that worth of merging. She could probably be a really good rally trap on an AR defense team, but there are better and probably cheaper options than Lysithea. Especially this Lysithea, especially this banner. I didn't get into that, and I'll get into that in a bit, but I don't like this banner that much. Next is going to be Edelgard. I think Edelgard might, and no offense to Edelgard fans, might be the worst unit on this banner. She does score incredibly, but as a unit, she's very, very subpar. She has 43-44 defenses. She's incredible in that concept, but she is an armor. Yes, I know they tried to patch up her armor stuff, but she's still losing to an armor. It's like a 4-star +6 Ogma that one-shot a Winter Sophis. Like, granted, this thing has more defense, but it's not by much. I think this thing is very, very counterable, and its threat, I think it's probably the least amount of threat in AR. I think Claude can probably do some shenanigans on AR. Lysithea can definitely do shenanigans on AR. Edelgard is probably a pretty decent PvE unit, but outside of that, I don't see her putting in any work. I think she'll be fine, I guess. I just don't see her doing anything particularly great. Lastly, who I think is the best on this banner, and the easiest, not easiest, but like, in my opinion, the one who everyone should want to +10 the most is Dimitri. Yes, he's a very subpar res, but given the introduction of Joint Drive res, and you can run Brave Lucina with things like double drive res or distant guard or anything like that, you can buff his res stat up enough, or if we ever see something like attack res unity, very similar A skill, attack res unity, in addition to the Brave Lucina double drive res and the base effect that gets her to, what's that, before getting debuffed, that's +5, +4, +3, +3, +3 again, +9, +5, +14, +18. +18 gets him to 37 res, which is incredible. If you pump him up with that plus 10 him, get him summoner support, then he's mighty fun. He's far and away the best. Blue Lion rule, never seen anything like it, and you probably won't. Blue Lion rule is probably going to be the reason that your random ass like like something really good on AR defense, your rally trap like dagger unit or something like that, is going to be running Fury 4 instead of Life and Death, because you have to pass, maybe, and I kind of doubt you will, especially with the stats he has, you have to find a way to somehow dodge that defense. Once again, you probably won't. You probably have to true damage out of it, and that's even worse. So is this, so this is an example. Like, a lot of those are really, really bad with true damage. Like, they have a lot of attack and a lot of speed. Most of them don't have really good defensive stats, so something like Iceberg or Bonfire isn't going to hit that hard. It's going to be true damage, but it's not going to do as much as you want. With that 40% damage reduction, it's doing a lot of stuff. And I think at plus 10 he is 44, 60, 40, 44, and 23. If you go with, okay, let's just do this. Let's custom unit build this really quick. Just because I want to see these stats. Basically finishing it off, I think Dimitri is, oh, he is in here. Oh, perfect. Oh, they have the art, I guess. Oh, no they don't. Okay. Go for basic Dimitri then. Alright, looking at the stats. Once again. 41, 40. 176. Like I said, with Super Rune, he does get into the 180 range. And now, so now if we get that into this M16, what's his lance called? Loyal lance or something? Are you gonna show me? No. Drivers 18, 16. It is. Okay. Standard drivers. Nothing big. That's A skill. At least unity doesn't matter. But we get him Summoner Splitter with those stats. We get him plus 10. These stats. We get him plus 10 flowers. Actually, does he get plus 10 flowers? I don't know. I can't. From the base channel, I couldn't tell if the new Dimitri will get 10 or 5 flowers. Either way, at least 5. We give him Light Blessing because he wants the res. You would either want plus res, or I would say plus res. I don't know the Super Boons. I'm sure this would be out in like an hour or so. Probably be out by the time of this video. Just looking at these stats, and then give him, let's see, driver, if you put joint driver res on him, joint driver res is 4. And then, hold on, where do I put the allies? There you can. And you can give him a solo, I forgot about that. Give him a solo skill as well. But with air, he's getting 4 more res, so he's at 37. Then he's getting essentially triple from Lucina. Get him up 37 to, what is that? 46. plus the solo is 52 res and 47 defense. Yeah, sorry, 52 res and 50 defense. He's absolutely absurd. I think Dimitri is far and away the best plus 10 here for any mode. Scoring 180 in arena. He's got arena assault capabilities. I think there's no contest in my opinion. But yeah, for plus 10s at least, I think the best one-off is either Lysithea or Blood. Granted, I do expect at some point to get Pity Broken by them, and they most certainly will come back on a legendary banner. That's how CYL works. But the biggest thing I can tell you, pull for your singular. If you want the spark, pull for the spark. Sparks are 5. In my opinion, if you like the characters, go ahead and spark. If you simply what's the term? If you're the kind of person who really wants to plus 10 somebody, then if you want to really plus 10 Dimitri, I would free pull Dimitri, summon all blue until 1 spark, get Dimitri from the spark, and then stop pulling on that banner specifically. Now, the reason you want the spark is because you can still pull. There's nothing harming you from pulling. It's not that bad. 4-person versus 3-person. Granted, 3-person is a lot better. 4-person is not horrible. 4-person plus spark is worth pulling until the first spark. For anyone who doesn't know, spark is the functionality that lets you pull 40 heroes and you pick one for free. But essentially, pulling for 1 spark and then stopping, and then Dimitri will almost, any of them really, will almost certainly be back by, December or January of this year, or January of next year I guess, on a 3-person banner with much better rates. So obviously there will be whales and there will be people to pull now, but in my opinion it's probably better to wait. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I do have an announcement video coming out on Friday about the future of this channel, my Twitch channel, so on and so forth. But we are having lots of discussions about CYL in the Discord, which is also in the description. So yeah, leave like, sub, as it says above me, and hopefully you enjoyed. See you guys later.